Hey guys, what's going on? It's Flat Earth Sage again. I haven't really done a video in a while. I understand that uh, with the whole move situation. I should be moving by the beginning of next month, very beginning of next month. Um, so I've had that. I've been packing it, I'm in the process of starting to pack and all that stuff. But I will be having some more videos come up here shortly. And one of the videos I plan on doing is I've been watching a lot of First Amendment audit videos. And basically, it's where people who care about their rights, their God-given rights from this country, will go to public places. Will go to public places and basically record anywhere. I've seen these guys record nuclear power plants, police stations, army bases, army bases, naval bases, marine bases. So pretty much anywhere. And I first want to say that I really appreciate what these guys are doing, and because of the work that they do, trying to show people that their First Amendment is legal, that filming is not a crime. I really respect them doing this. Like, these guys put their basically have to deal with these screwed up cops and stuff like that, and I don't, my goal is not to find fucked up cops that want to give me a hard time and stuff. All I want to do is do a little experiment to see if they do respect my right to film on at the police station. I think what I'm planning on doing is I'm just going to film the exterior of the police station, and hopefully Fredericksburg PD respects my right to film. If they don't respect my right to film, they will be educated, because this is something that I think law enforcement needs to know, needs to understand, because this is a Supreme Court ruling that you're allowed to film the exterior as long as you're in a public place, and you can film anything that your camera can see. So I'm gonna give that a try. I figured I could probably do that, because where I'm moving to, my apartment's gonna be right next to the Fredericksburg police station. And at the same time, I've never been there before, so I'm kind of curious as well. And I've frankly been hooked on these videos. I really don't know why. I guess it's because I've had such bad experience with police in the past and stuff like that, that it's nice to actually see them be put in check for, to be put in check and actually educated for once. Now, these people, they're not out to try to harass police officers or any of that. They're only there to express their constitutional rights, and like I said, make sure that the law enforcement understands it. It could go either way when I go to do an audit. It could be that they ask me if I need anything, I tell them no, and they're like, all right, let us know if we need anything, and they just walk away. Or it could be they ask me what I'm doing, and because I'm not being charged with the crime, I wouldn't answer them. And then it could go a couple different ways. Another thing too that people need to understand as well is that any state, as long as you're not in a stop and ID state, unless you're being caught in the process of doing a crime, unless you're about to do a crime, caught in the process of doing a crime, they have no right to ask you for ID. And the only time they can ask you for ID is in a situation like, where, you're driving and you're pulled over and stuff like that. If you are driving and you're pulled over and they accuse you of like a busted brake light or you went a little too fast, you have to show them your ID in that case. You don't have a choice. But if you're not violating any crimes, you're not doing anything wrong, and they keep demanding ID, you can tell them, I don't wish to have any further communication with you. It's your right to remain anonymous as long as you're not suspected of a crime. They have to have reasonable, articulable suspicion that you're about to commit a crime, which means that they have to have facts supporting that. So for example, if they wanted to have reasonable, articulable suspicion that you're trespassing, they would have to either A, have people say that you were on their property, which a lot of times isn't a good enough reason because people can lie. B, you have to be seen on their property by a police officer, or C, you have prior experience with trespassing in your past. If any of those fit, then he would have reasonable articulation, articulable suspicion. So yeah, like, again, I just want to express my sincere thanks and gratitude to these people out there that are doing this and trying to educate not only law enforcement but educate the public as well. They have my gratitude, my thanks. Honestly, I think we can all admit that the country has slowly lost its way, but we've given up a lot of freedoms. We've sacrificed a lot for safety in this country, this country's getting crazy. It's getting fucked up, to be honest. And if I'm being completely honest, right here, right now, the only real reason that I love this country is because we have rights. It's the only reason. It's because this country has a sense of freedom, and that's why I love this country. That's the only reason I love this country. Because you look at other countries in this world, and they don't really have all the stuff that we have, and I think sometimes we take it for granted, how lucky we really are. We waiver our rights lots of times to law enforcement or whatever authority, because we think we have to. We think that we were told that's a sacrifice for freedom. But that happened, that was stated about 15 years ago. That whole stuff with 9/11 happened when I was in elementary school, I think. I'm 28 years old now, so times have changed, and I'm really glad I'm at least here to witness all this stuff going down. For me, I'm actually a dual citizen, because my dad is from Australia, so I have citizenship to Australia and to the US. So I've kind of always looked at it from sort of like an immigrant's perspective, because my father is an immigrant. You know, and so whenever something happens, you know, it seems to be that I'm very unbiased when it comes to stuff happening in the US. But, you know, even through all its fucked up stuff, we live in a great country, you know. I mean, I guess I shouldn't say great, but, you know, we live in a good country, where we're born with rights. People in other countries are probably wondering why their countries don't have rights like here in America, you know. And a lot of other countries are jealous that we do have rights. The thing about it is we need to keep exercising our constitutional rights, because if we don't, the one thing that makes this country great will be gone. All our rights will be gone. And that's something I don't want to see happen in this country, because our rights are the only thing that protect us from tyranny, really. And if we don't have our rights, you know, they can get away with whatever they want. It doesn't matter. If all our rights are gone, cops could literally come into our house whenever they fucking feel like it. They could literally walk up without saying anything, put their hands in your pockets. You know? It's just some of the stuff that could happen if we're not careful. And that's why I love these guys so much, and I respect what they're doing. You know, this happens. This is kind of like a revolution that's lately been, the past few years, that's been happening all over the U.S. I've seen people here in Virginia do it. I've seen people in Texas, California, Oklahoma City. Who else? I'm trying to think of some other places. There are some other guys from other states. I can't think of their names. I can't think of their names at the top of my head, but you know, this is slowly happening throughout the world. Even if you don't live in a stop and ID state, you have to at least be detained first before you have to show your ID. Personally, I prefer to remain anonymous. Because because it's not their right to know who I am, what my history is, and stuff like that. And even if they ask my ID, it's not going to show them whether or not I'm going to commit a crime. All it's going to do is show my name and my address and any prior convictions, which I only have misdemeanors, so it's nothing crazy. No felonies or anything. Surprisingly, given my past, I'm surprised I haven't had a felony. But so yeah, I'm going to be doing a video on the Fredericksburg Police Department probably as soon as I move in, either that day or the day after, and I'll be live streaming the whole thing, so you guys can watch it as it happens. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see if the Fredericksburg Police Department respects my right to film in the parking lot. If that goes well, I'll go inside and I'll go film, which that's going to probably get a little bit more hairier. A little bit hairy. Simply due to the fact that a lot of these places try telling you can't record. And people think that's a law, but what people don't understand is that that's policy. That's not a law. That policy only applies to them being in the courtrooms, where there's sensitive information. In public places, in courthouses and stuff like that, you can film all you want. It doesn't. They can put 20 signs up saying no photography, but there's nothing that will trump your constitutional rights. Nothing. Doesn't matter what they put up. I've seen people put up stuff that explicitly said that you can't express yourself with, that you have to wear certain attire and stuff like that, and you can't wear anything that expresses yourself, which again goes against our amendments, freedom of expression, and that can easily be torn down and stuff like that, and be destroyed, because nothing trumps your constitutional rights. But yeah, like, there's really nothing to worry about. Even if I go in there and I see those signs, I'm just gonna sit there and laugh at them, because they're not constitutional. It's not lawful. There could be signs that say no cell phones and stuff like that, but you know what? Again, that's not lawful, because my cell phone, as you guys know, is what I record on. My cell phone is my video camera. So by them not allowing cell phones, they're basically telling me I can't record in there, which I'm not going to put up with. Another thing too that I want people to understand is the only time an officer has authority over you is if you're being arrested. That's the only time they have authority over you. Now, of course, you can choose whether or not to talk to him. You can talk to him if you want. It's not a problem. It's your choice. But just know that anything you say can and will be held against you in a court of law. And I know you might be saying, but that only applies when you're being arrested. No. They can use anything you say against you at any time. And they will. They'll try to do that. Because that's how they work, They make money whenever they charge somebody with a crime or a traffic violation or something like that. That's why I would choose to remain and to not speak, probably. Because let's be honest, cops will ask you ridiculous questions. I remember I got pulled over. I was in Culpeper, in downtown Culpeper, and I got pulled over for like I think it was for an out tail light or some bullshit like that. And they stopped me and everything, and they told me why I was being pulled over. Of course, since I was being pulled over and they were accusing me of a violation, which from what I understand is a crime, I did give them my ID. After I gave my ID, they ran my ID. This is just some of the stupid questions they ask. The first one was, where are you headed to tonight? Which is none of their business. It doesn't pertain to why they're pulling you over. But I was still cordial. I was polite and cordial with the officer. I told him the truth. I was like, I'm going to visit my friend. But then they don't stop. because this is what I was talking about. They're trying to see what you say. They're trying to hope that you'll slip up with something so they can charge you with something. And they said, who's your friend? Where does he live? How old is he? Like, stupid questions like that. Like, it's none of your business. Of course, I didn't know my rights at the time. You know, I thought I had to answer the cop with whatever he asked. So, you know, these are just some dumb stuff that they ask. And because I didn't know my rights, I ended up telling them a fake name. Because I don't have a right to give out my friend's identity to police officers, and I thought that they were demanding a response from me, so I gave them a fake name. Not my fake. I didn't give them fake information about my name, because that would be a failure to identify, and that is a misdemeanor in the state of Virginia. Class 1 misdemeanor, and I already have 2 misdemeanors on my record. I do not want a third. So, you know, just some dumb stuff that they ask. So, here shortly, unless I run into a place that's better than the Fredericksburg Police Department for me to film, I'm going to be filming that. So if you guys are interested to see, you know, how the law works, you know, if you guys are interested in wondering whether or not the police will respect my right to film at the exterior of the police department, go ahead and check out my live stream when it starts. You know, we'll see what happens. We'll see if who knows, maybe some officers will get educated that day. We shall find out. So, you know, just keep your eyes open for that, guys, for that video. And I just wanted to do just a little video explaining on what was going on, what I got planned to do for my next video. So, anyways, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and end it here. So I hope you guys are having a great day. Hope all is well with you guys. Peace and love, fellas. Bye.